Hey everyone, welcome back to the podcast. I'm Nika, your English teacher, and in this episode, we are going to talk about some little things in our daily life that bring us happiness. I believe that through this episode, you will not only learn many new words and boost your listening skills, but you will also start noticing positive moments in your life, and you will be pleased to find out that there are actually many of them. So let's get started. First of all, I want to mention that this topic was inspired by two students of mine from B1, B2 course. For those of you who don't know, I have a 3 month course from intermediate to upper intermediate levels. And in this course, I usually organize various kinds of challenges for my students. These challenges help them not only learn the language, but also have fun and step out of their comfort zone. Some challenges are quite easy, like recording an audio message to the chat, writing a short text, or even recording a video. But this time, I wanted to come up with a super unusual activity for my students, and I created the challenge of presentations. The participants of the course were able to select their partners, so the people they feel comfortable working with. And then, in pairs, they had to choose the topics they were interested in. Afterwards, they had to create a presentation with 6 to 10 slides and then present it in front of others. I was glad to hear that students really had fun while preparing for this challenge. They made many calls, they spoke only in English, they searched for the information on the internet about selected topics. Also, they read many different articles, watched videos in English, and so on and so forth. And all of those topics were so meaningful for students, and that's why they were presenting them with, shining eyes. And one of the topics was called Little Things That Make Us Happy. I immediately loved the topic and I found the idea being so nice and meaningful to discuss. So that's why I decided to record this podcast focusing on this topic. So once again, I'd like to thank my students for this wonderful choice. Why is it important in general to notice little things that make us happy? I've been thinking a lot about this question recently, and I've got a couple of answers. First of all, I would say that the situation in the world, especially in Europe, is ridiculous now. And many of us don't know what to expect tomorrow. So we are constantly worried about our future. We are worried about our safety, families, jobs, and even homes. And we find ourselves depending on the factors we can't change or we can't influence in any way. However, at the same time, we still have control of our lives. We can choose what to focus on. We can choose what to pay attention to. And by consciously choosing to focus on positivity, no matter what is happening around us, we can find happiness even during these crazy days and difficult times. And if you make an effort to focus on positive moments, you will maintain good mental health. This positivity will lead to increased productivity and focus. And when you are in good mental state, you can also boost and uplift mood of those people who are next to you, like your relatives, your partners, your friends, and you become at the same time a source of safety and comfort for them. Secondly, if you decide to notice the little things in our daily life that bring you joy, you will become a positive person. And I believe that all of us would agree that it's more pleasant and more joyful to be surrounded by cheerful, happy, and optimistic individuals who smile and laugh rather than negative people who are always complaining and are always focusing on bad and negative sides of life. Thirdly, I think by choosing to find joy in everyday moments, you will not postpone your happiness until vacations, birthdays, Christmas, New Year's, or any other special occasions that usually make people happy. No, instead, you will live in present moment and embrace your happiness daily. Okay, so when we have identified and recognized the value of noticing these lovely moments every day, let me share some things that make me personally happy. And perhaps it will inspire you to notice more positive moments in your life. When I wake up, I always try to stretch a bit. Stretch my body, stretch my legs, stretch my hands. And during that moment, I consciously focus on every part of my body. And I consciously notice how great I feel. I feel that nothing hurts and nothing disturbs me. And I immediately feel grateful for this because I know that there are so many people in the world who suffer from terrible diseases, and even simple actions like walking, doing something with their hands, eating, breathing can be unfortunately tough for them. So I always remind myself that I am fortunate, I am a lucky person because I'm healthy. Then I go to the bathroom, and the first thing I see is my reflection in the mirror. At that moment, I usually look at myself, I smile, and I say something like, "Hey, new day," or "I'm glad it's a new day," or "Good morning, Nika, it's a new day of your life." And this small and easy and simple action immediately boosts my mood and helps me to wake up. I know that my self-care stuff really makes me happy. For instance, using different shampoos with wonderful smell, or shower gels with amazing texture, or body lotions which make my skin soft. And that's why I like to buy new products from time to time because they add a feeling of something new in my life. Talking about cosmetics, they may also help me feel better. I'm not a huge fan of heavy makeup, and I in general love the concept of natural beauty. However, I've noticed that when I put on light makeup, like just coloring my lashes or eyebrows, it immediately boosts my self-confidence and improves my mood. Actually, the same stories with my home clothes. Since I work from home every few months, I enjoy buying new clothes for home. I really love different types of outfits. I like casual, comfy, and cozy outfits. And in addition to that, I also like more romantic and attractive ones. Just I put them on depending on my mood. In addition to clothes, I also love wearing jewelry. For example, I don't want to wear good and expensive jewelry at home, so sometimes I buy different affordable bracelets, rings, earrings, necklaces from H&M, and then I easily wear them at home. To sum up my long story, when I smell nice after a shower, when I have a bit of makeup on my eyes, and I wear a nice outfit, I immediately feel better and my day automatically becomes nicer. So these small acts of self-care bring joy and positivity to my daily life. One more thing that brings me happiness is hugging my husband when he comes from work. I always look into his eyes, hold his hand, smile, and say, "I'm happy that you are at home," or "I'm so glad to see you. I've been waiting for you all day." And at this moment, he smiles back, he feels loved, and he feels appreciated, and we are both happy. And it's a very simple action, but at the same time, it's a very meaningful one. Another action that has come to my mind is calling my beloved people. For example, calling my mom, dad, brother, or my friends. I especially love calling one of my grandmas. She usually tells me about her garden, she tells me about the weather in Belarus, or different simple dishes that I am able or that I will be able to prepare. And at the same time, I tell her about my life and I send her various pictures and videos that I have on my phone. Every time I talk to my grandma, I feel incredibly grateful because we have a very, very, very close relationship. And she's almost like my second mom. And I know that it's a treasure in general to have grandparents when you are about 27. So I appreciate it a lot. The next thing that has come to my mind is making my students smile and laugh. I absolutely love my job with all my heart. Not only because I help my students to make their dreams come true through English, but also because I help them relax after a tough working day. I help them forget about their problems for an hour, and I make them feel proud of themselves. I love boosting the mood of my students with the help of different interesting topics and engaging discussions. It also brings me joy to see them smiling at the end of the class, especially when they felt exhausted or disappointed in the beginning. And I also love giving compliments to my students based on their English skills, maybe also based on the new words they used or the sentences with tough grammar they were able to say correctly. And I also compliment them on their appearance or on positive and strong character traits. Actually, everyone smiles after receiving sincere compliments. And in this case, if you don't usually give compliments to others, I highly recommend starting to practice it from time to time. And you will notice how people thrive and feel happy after hearing kind and positive words about themselves. And you will feel like you've done something good to make their day better. And guess what? Your day will also automatically become better as the result. Okay. So these were the points I wanted to focus on today. Of course, every single day, there are many different moments that can make me feel happy. The examples of those moments are the following: hearing birds singing, smelling the sea, receiving flowers, sipping a cup of coffee in a cafe, getting a new manicure, watching a good movie, or receiving a smile from a stranger, and so on. But it's important not to take our lives, our people, our health for granted. Instead, we need to be grateful and be thankful for them and for everything that we have. And when you practice gratitude, you will automatically become and feel happier. Thank you so much, guys, for listening to my philosophical and a bit thought-provoking podcast, I believe. So please send me a short message on Instagram, maybe with your insights, or just let me know that you've listened to this podcast. And it will definitely make my day and boost my mood. Stay happy, stay grateful, stay optimistic, and look forward to talking to you in my next episodes. Keep in touch. Bye bye.